At what point do you stop trying to help someone who refuses to help themselves? My sister has had mental health problems her whole life, with a couple of severe breakdowns where she's hallucinated situations, conversations that haven't even happened. Currently she thinks everyone is conspiring against her and constantly having digs at her. She also thinks her house has been bugged. My family and I have been supportive throughout the whole ordeal, but it's getting to a point where I'm sick of answering her calls at midnight because she's had conversations that seem strange, and if we're talking with her in-laws about her, she refuses to acknowledge that it's not normal the way she's behaving, and that for some reason no one has anything better to do than concentrate on ruining her life. She has 2 kids and a husband. I feel like if she has another breakdown, she'd have to get sectioned to realize how bad her mental state actually is. Has anyone been in a similar situation, and what happened if so? Your sister suffers from paranoid schizophrenia. She has to be admitted to a mental institution so that she can be medicated, if necessary against her will. This is not a disease that can be controlled without psychiatric intervention. If you fear for her safety, you can get her put into a psych ward and get her on some kind of meds. I've been in a psych ward twice now, and it's helped me get on meds that help with those thoughts. IDK if this helped, but good luck. Hey, so, this is coming from a person with a disorder that features paranoid thoughts and delusions. When I had my first psychotic break, I had a crisis team come out to my home. My father called them and evaluate me. Then after that there were further sessions set up by them. Medication, therapy, family counseling. This can often be done in home depending on where you are. You don't have to disclose your location, of course, but if you call 211 they could be of assistance to your family as well as your sister. Is she refusing to see a professional? Does she have medication that she won't take? If she is having psychotic breaks, she is a danger to herself and others. Don't wait. She doesn't know she isn't seeing reality. She needs someone to take charge of her care. These sound like symptoms of psychosis, which is an element of schizophrenia. It doesn't go away without medication and therapy. It can stay at the level it's at, but it can also exacerbate. Sadly, in my situation it's ended in divorce because my wife stopped and refuses to restart help. It's affected our relationship terribly, been a cause of deep money queries, and ultimately had driven us far apart. For me, it's taken 8 years to get to the stage where I realized I can't help her anymore if she won't help herself. Poor thing, I can't imagine how terrifying and confusing this must be for her. I can't imagine how frustrating it must be for you. Mental illness is so tough to deal with sometimes. I wonder if there's a way to get her admitted to a mental hospital for some treatment and hopefully a diagnosis? If she is schizophrenic, she can't help it. That's not some minor anxiety the sufferer is aware of. If they've lost contact with reality, they need outside help. They are incapable of helping themselves. She needs some serious help, like an intervention and being admitted to a hospital. That's the only thing I can say that would really help her, I think. You cannot help her. She needs professional help. She believes wholeheartedly everything she thinks. You will not be able to convince her. Please get her professional help. A stay at a residential, outpatient care, please. NAMI.org has resources. They helped me figure out how to help a mentally ill relative. Similar situation. Hello up. I have a family member with diagnosed schizophrenia. We tried many things over countless years to no avail. Depending on what state or country you live in, the laws are different. For example, in Texas, an adult cannot be admitted against their will unless you have a court order or it is a temporary, 5,150, hold. It is extremely difficult. Other states, an ill person can be involuntarily committed with enough evidence and documentation. If you need help or resources, let me know. She is now hospitalized and doing very well. If your sister is hallucinating, she needs to Bob Baker acted. It sucks but is necessary. Happened to a friend of mine. He had to get sectioned and be forced to take meds and get therapy before it got better. Even if she isn't in control of her actions, she is still responsible for the consequences thereof. Never help anyone more than they help themselves. My mother said I needed a doctor at 34. I said, commit me. I am fine. I was bipolar, undiagnosed, and full mania. She had me committed by the magistrate. I am in meds 15 years and doing fine. It's okay to block people, even F smiley. Even get a restraining order. Group therapy support is needed for you. Ask a counselor. People around the person are injured emotionally. A support group. You can hear others also go through this problem. Coming from experience, when it starts affecting you, at the point where you get hurt because of it. It seems she is suffering with paranoid schizophrenia. I am not expert, of course. They don't accept the things what they think is not logical. It's not she is not trying to help herself, it's the sickness. You should visit an experienced doctor in schizophrenia. Thank you, appreciate that. Yes, it's better than it was and still a few hurdles to clear, but there was no other option. I wish the best for your family. If there is a danger to her or someone else's health, admit her to a psychological behavioral hospital. Don't take this on alone. It sounds an awful lot like she is experiencing paranoid schizophrenia, or the early stages of it. You might not be able to get her involuntarily committed if she is not a danger to herself or others. But she needs help. Try any which way you can to get her in to see a psychiatrist. I'm sick of answering her calls at midnight because she's had conversations that seem strange. This part stood out to me. This makes it sound like you're not implementing any boundaries on your sister's behavior. Of course I'm only going off what's in the post, so forgive me if I'm way off. But a good first step would be to tell her you will no longer accept calls past your bedtime, and follow through with that. I don't have much advice about how to handle your sister's paranoia, but setting firm boundaries should at least mean you're not dedicating every hour of the day to her mental health. When you realize that they haven't hit rock bottom yet. I've put up with my neighbor's mental illness and alcoholism for years. I managed to get on fairly well with her for years, but recently decided I'd had enough of her. Dogs barking, rats in the garden, police a paramedic banging on the door in the middle of the night. She never goes anywhere and is completely self-obsessed. Now we've fallen out. She has reported my partner to our housing group saying he's harassed her. We risk being thrown out of our house because she's pissed I am not speaking to her anymore. It seems her rights are a lot more important than mine. I'm almost in an identical situation, but my best advice is to walk away. There is no winning with this person, and no matter how much evidence, receipts, calm or angry discussions, they will never take stock unless they want to, and that is maybe a 1% chance. Mine went after my family out of perceived spite and put so much stress and heartbreak on my father because they used the kids as emotional leverage. My dad sadly passed, and one of the last things he did was telling his extended, immediate family the extent of the issue. Moral of the story: they will set themselves on fire just to burn you, so don't even give them an inch to do so. Stop when it's no longer helping them, but hurting them. This is very hard to figure out, but you can tell at first sign. Can't help someone that doesn't want help, and won't bother myself with that kinda stuff. Unfortunately, help can't be forced upon someone. Counselor here, waving hand, light skin tone. Unless a judge implements counseling sessions, which would never happen, and she'd have to take part. You can only tell her what would be best for her, but unfortunately she has to want to change. Offer help when they ask for help, not otherwise.